Fly ball onto the track, at the wall, it's gone! Home run!
Turns on a ball, deep right field, and gone!
What a game, what a moment. What is up, everybody? Welcome into this Tuesday bonus edition of Flippin' Bats. Earlier today, we talked a lot about trades, who I think is going to get traded, where we think they're going to go, and one of those names that we didn't mention was Shohei Ohtani. But today, we're going to talk all about him in this bonus episode, and we're going to get to it in my favorite segment of all time, This Week in Shohei Ohtani News. And it's going to be a little bit different this week because Alex and I are going to talk all about our own Fox Sports writers in an article that they put together with 12 potential landing spots for Shohei and what they would have to give up to do it. So Alex is going to list all of those, what all of our writers put together, and I'm going to say whether I like them, if I think it's a possibility, and why it might or might not be a good fit. But as always, I am joined by Alex Curry. And Alex, Shohei again on Sunday did what Shohei does best on Sundays.
He loves hitting home runs on Sunday, and this Sunday he hit MLB leading home run number 36.
36 on the year, leading baseball in homers, leading baseball in triples. Obviously, we all know he's pitching. It's unbelievable. But number 36 on the year, just straightaway center against the Pirates. Nobody in the American League even has 30 yet. So he's all alone in the American League. Matt Olson of the Braves is in the 30s, in the low 30s. But it's remarkable what we're seeing. And the percentage of homers that Shohei hits on Sundays. And I know this one gets tricky because Sundays are day games.
Yep.
And for day games, a lot of people that are watching in Japan aren't up yet to watch. So they probably wake up every single Sunday and just think, hey, he did it again. But yes, number 36 on the year.
So before we get into this next segment, this is assuming that Ohtani might get traded. So if that's the case, this last weekend would have been his like farewell tour at the Big A if he does get traded.
There's a lot. The future of the Angels organization rides on the next week. And have they been playing better? Yes. Is it good enough to keep Shohei? Should they keep him? Should they trade him? Honestly, I don't know what they're going to do. Alex doesn't know what they're going to do.
Nope.
I don't even think Artie Moreno knows what he's going to do yet. But as I did mention, our own Fox Sports MLB writers all came together and put together 12 hypothetical trades. And what I'm going to do is, Alex is going to read them off and pitch them to me. And what I'm going to do is say whether I like them or not, and if he likes, if that team feels like a good fit as well.
All right, well, let's get started with the first mock trade, and we're starting up in Seattle with the Mariners. Okay? So the Mariners would send Bryce Miller, Cole Young, Emerson Hancock, Cade Marlowe, and Ashton Izzy for Ohtani.
One thing is for sure, the Mariners have the MLB-ready pitching surplus it would take to get Shohei. So I do believe the Mariners were one of the 5 teams that I had in the top 5 landing spots for Shohei Ohtani, not necessarily via trade. When we did it, it was where I think he's going to end up long term. And the Mariners were one of those spots. And trading for him would be a good way to get him into town and tell him and show him why it's going to be a good place to play. So a lot of pitching prospects here. 3 of them here are pitching prospects. Bryce Miller, we've obviously seen in the big leagues. The Mariners certainly have what it takes. And I think Seattle could be a good fit for Shohei.
I mean, he's spent an offseason there. The fans love him. They were chanting his name at the All-Star game. So that'll be interesting. All right, on to our next mock trade. The Padres. Okay. The Padres would send Samuel Zavala, Jairo Irate, Jackson Wolf, Ryan Berger, Jacob Marcy, and Kevin Kopps for Ohtani.
One thing the Padres have going in their favor is an owner that is willing to spend money.
Oh, yeah.
And we saw him with Aaron Judge right at the buzzer trying to hop in with the highest deal.
Slide into his DMs.
Just tried to slide in there right at the buzzer, and obviously it didn't work. But that money is burning a hole in his pocket, and boy, is there an opportunity to spend it this offseason with Shohei Ohtani. So do they trade for him? They certainly have a lot of the prospects to do it. Do I think it's a good fit? I would say yes, because it's still on the West Coast. It's a team that's ready to win. It's a team that is capable of winning, though this year has been a little bit underperforming. But I could see this happening.
All right, let's move on to a young and up-and-coming team, the Reds. The Reds would send Spencer Steer, Connor Phillips, Sal Stewart, Joe Boyle, Rhys Hines for Ohtani.
You know, if I'm the Reds, one, I don't foresee Shohei Ohtani in Cincinnati.
No.
I don't see that happening. I don't see a world in which he ends up there unless it is via a trade, which he does not have a no trade clause. So he could end up wherever. But do I see the Reds, who are just now on the cusp of what appears to be a long, long run of being good, do I see them trading a lot of that away for Shohei? I don't see them doing it. I haven't seen this owner and this front office be aggressive recklessly aggressive at any point, or doing what I think they've needed to do. They now have an opportunity right in front of them with all these prospects and people making it to the big leagues, but I don't see them trading for Shohei Ohtani.
All right, let's move to another West Coast team, the Giants. The Giants would send Luis Matos, Carson Whisenhunt, Reggie Crawford, Wade Meckler, Elliot Ramos for Ohtani.
Now, the Giants certainly have what it takes to get him. I do. I would like this trade. And the Giants, again, were one of the teams that were at the top 5 for me of potential landing spots. I do think there's a chance he ultimately ends up with the Giants. And again, trading for him would help your cause. One of these players in Reggie Crawford, a two-way player. They should just offer Reggie Crawford for Shohei Ohtani straight up. Two-way player for two-way player. Feels like a fair trade. Yeah, I think the teams that should push harder for him to trade are the teams that really feel like they have what it takes to land him long term. That's why you should trade.
Where you think he will sign once he's a free agent after this season?
Yeah, like, do I see Shohei signing with the Reds? I don't. So should the Reds jeopardize a lot of their future to get him for 3 months
for a rental?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
but the Giants are one of those teams that I could see.
All right, moving on to the Phillies. Now the Phillies would send Mick Abel, Bryson Stott, Hao-Yu Lee, Alex McFarland, Brian Rincon for Ohtani.
Yeah, I don't love this one. When it comes to these trades, and specifically with Shohei Ohtani, what it's going to take to get a guy like him isn't your typical, I feel like this trade is like a typical, how do we get the star at the deadline? Not how do we get Shohei Ohtani at the deadline? Like, Bryson Stott is a good Major League Baseball player, but we've now seen him in the big leagues, and I feel like we're getting a clue of what he's going to be. Is Bryson Stott going to be a superstar in the big leagues? Probably not. And then we're just looking at prospects. I mean, obviously very good. I don't love this trade, and I don't foresee Shohei in Philly.
All right, let's move to another up-and-coming team, the Orioles. The Orioles would send Kobe Mayo, Colton Cowser, Judd Fabian, Joey Ortiz, Justin Armbruster, Trace Bright for Ohtani.
The Orioles are an interesting one for me because the Orioles they have arrived.
They're here, but they're not over that hump yet.
And they have what it takes still in the minor leagues to get a guy like Shohei Ohtani. So the question becomes, how much do you give up? How much of the future do you give away to get a guy like Shohei? And those answers are dependent on a few things. Is your team right now pushed over the top with a guy like Shohei? And for the Orioles, I would say that answer is yes. Next, it's how much do you have in the minor leagues, and can you do it without fully jeopardizing your future? And I would say for the Orioles, that answer is yes, because as you'll notice in this trade, it is not one Jackson Holliday, who appears to be the next superstar or a future superstar of the league, who's 19 years old. He's tearing it up at every single level he's played at. So they would still have more. They've drafted very well over the last few years. And do I see Shohei ending up in Baltimore for the foreseeable future and re-signing there? I don't. But this is a team that I think has what it takes they can afford a rental, and I think it puts them over the top this year, making them a favorite if they can get a guy like Shohei Ohtani. So I like this.
So like worth it for the rental, even if he doesn't stay.
I think so. I like this. I would hate this if Jackson Holliday was involved, but you're still keeping your big name in the minors, a couple of big names, while giving up a few of them for the short-term success. However, the Orioles did say that they are not going to be reckless and jeopardize a lot of the future this offseason. For that reason, I don't think this happens.
For that reason, I am out.
And for that reason, I'm out.
All right. Well, this next team is actually a favorite landing spot. I think most people have it as their possible number one during the offseason.
They were mine.
The Dodgers. Now, the Dodgers would send Emmett Sheehan, Gavin Stone, Michael Busch, Dalton Rushing, Andy Pages, River Ryan for Ohtani.
What a name, River Ryan.
Yeah.
What a name. Yeah, I could see, what we've heard with the Dodgers is kind of back and forth of late. We first heard Artie Moreno was not willing to trade Shohei to the Dodgers. And since literally in the last few days, we've heard a bit of, if the package is right.
They're not completely out of the picture, which is smart. You should never say no before you hear an offer.
It is smart. And of any team that should be willing to be overly aggressive in a trade for Shohei, it would be the Dodgers. Because, for the reasons I've mentioned, they were my number one potential landing spot for Shohei. They have what it takes in the minors. And it would allow him to get in-house, build chemistry with everyone. I feel like I hope people understand how important it is to feel comfortable where you are, and getting a test run is the perfect case scenario. It would be like the signing process, if he doesn't end up being traded somewhere, is almost going to be like going on a date with somebody without ever even knowing anything about them or what,
because chemistry is huge too, like clubhouse, dugout chemistry, and
coaching
having that
staff, athletic trainers,
everything, because that's going to lead to your confidence and your daily routine. And we know how important Ohtani's routine is to him, his daily routine for pitching and hitting. And he's so disciplined. Feeling comfortable
with your pitching coach, the manager, getting to do all of that before you have to make the decision. I really do think if a team is able to trade for Shohei, I think the team that does trade for him, unless it's like the Reds, or I don't foresee Shohei in the Midwest. I just don't.
He's going to be a coast guy.
So if it's somewhere if he gets traded somewhere, I do think that team gets a big bump up in their percentage chances of signing them. And the Dodgers have what it takes. And this would be a good deal.
All right, let's head up north to Canada, to the Blue Jays. Now, the Blue Jays would send Ricky Tiedemann, Addison Barger, Santiago Espinal, Yosver Zuleta, and Otto Lopez for Ohtani.
Now, I just said I don't foresee Shohei ending up in the Midwest. I would also like to add I don't see Shohei ending up in Canada either. Sorry, Blue Jays fans. This is one of those deals. Yeah, Santiago Espinal was an all-star last year, not having a great year this year. These other names are all prospects. And if I'm the Angels, I have yet to come across a deal that I am jumping at yep, we have to do this. And according to everything we've heard, for the Angels to make a trade, it is going to have to be an offer that they cannot refuse. And this Blue Jays offer is not one of them.
All right, let's move to a possible divisional trade. with the Rangers. The Rangers would send Jack Leiter, Owen White, Ezekiel Duran, Aaron Zavala, Justin Foscue, and Emiliano Teodo for Ohtani.
They should definitely do this just because of his name. What a great baseball name. Emiliano Teodo screams 10-year big league all-star. It's just a great name. Great name. Yeah, I do. I would like Jack Leiter, obviously, top draft pick. Justin Foscue, I think, is going to be good. Rangers are another team. I will say, do I see Shohei ending up in Texas? I don't. But the Rangers have shown they spent $500 million on two players. What's spending another $500 million on one player that's basically two players? You know?
But you really think they're going to trade within the AL West? Yeah.
What would be?
I just don't see that happening.
Why? Let me ask you, why not? For a rental? Deplete another team in your division's farm system? Thinking he's not going to re-sign there?
Oh, this goes back to your point of like rent him out, have a deal, bring him back. Okay.
But you know, like I hadn't just thinking through. This is for a rental. We need to remember. So if a division team comes with what you think is the best offer, and you can deplete their farm system, do we really think Shohei is going to re-sign with the Astros or the Rangers? The Mariners are a better, like I would stay away from trading him to Seattle.
Yeah.
But would I trade him if I get the best package from the Rangers or the Astros? Would I deplete their system and send them there? Mind games, baby.
That is a mind game.
Yeah.
That's the long play there. All right, let's head over to New York and the Yankees. Mock trade. The Yankees would send Jason Dominguez, Oswald Peraza, Spencer Jones, Gleyber Torres.
Now this
for Ohtani
is a trade that I like.
Really?
I quite like this.
Really?
Gleyber Torres, we all know Gleyber Torres. Mm-hmm. Jason Dominguez, top prospect, future superstar in the game. I truly believe that. And if the Angels could make a trade with the Yankees and get Jason Dominguez in it, obviously not. I'm not just saying like Jason Dominguez straight up for Shohei Ohtani. Yeah. But if you can make a trade with Jason Dominguez and get Gleyber Torres involved too, I think Gleyber Torres he's been a roller coaster a lot in his career, but still very young and has the potential to be very, very good, I believe. Gleyber Torres, Spencer Jones, big prospect. Peraza doesn't move the needle a ton for me in this trade, but Jason Dominguez, Gleyber, Spencer Jones, add in Peraza, add in the chance that Shohei Ohtani certainly could. Oh yeah, that would
be a courting situation.
This would be a courting situation.
Yeah, this would be a test run.
Yeah, I would like this trade. If you're the Angels and you can get Jason Dominguez in a trade, along with current big leaguers that we have seen that are good, and another prospect, I would strongly consider it. Ooh. And the Yankees are a very high potential of a landing spot for Shohei.
That was his second choice to the Angels when he was coming over to Major League Baseball. So, that could play a part. One thing
that was interesting to me when I sat down with Shohei was him talking about the mark he wants to leave on the game. And it was interesting hearing him say, one thing that's important to me is I know I'm known and I want to be known in the baseball world, and I now believe I am, but I want to be known outside of baseball. I want everybody to know. And where better to go than the New York Yankees
or the Dodgers, the two coast big name brand teams.
Yeah.
Those are the two places you go.
It is the Yankees. The Dodgers are definitely the West Coast, but the Yankees are the Yankees, and whether you love them or you hate them, they are one of the biggest sports franchises in the history of the world. They're the New York Yankees, and they play right there in New York in that big market, and they have the 27 rings. In case you haven't heard, I've been hearing that since I was in high school. Guess what? They still have 27 rings, but you hear about it all the time. That number's still 27, my friends. But Shohei might make that number 28 if he ends up there. So, I like this one.
That's fair. Okay, we got two more. Let's go to Boston, the Boston Red Sox. The Red Sox would send Marcelo Mayer, Brian Bayo, Nick York, and Ceddanne Rafaela for Ohtani.
Don't love this one. Don't foresee Shohei in Boston. Brian Bayo, stud pitcher on the mound, though. I think he's really come into his own this year. Some big prospects in here. Ultimately, do not see this happening. All
right. Last one, the reigning World Series champs, the Astros. The Astros would send Drew Gilbert, Hunter Brown, Colin Barber, and Ryan Clifford for Ohtani.
If I'm the Angels and I can get a trade with the Astros and get Drew Gilbert and Hunter Brown, you got to consider it. Again, same division play here. I don't think Shohei is re-signing with the Houston Astros, and I don't think the Houston Astros are trading for Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
But in a world in which we're talking hypotheticals, and you can get Drew Gilbert and Hunter Brown, whoo, that gets enticing. But yes, I do not see this one happening in either direction. I don't think the Astros give this up. I don't think Shohei ends up in Houston. I feel like every team might check in, and the Astros might be one of them. I don't foresee this happening.
Okay, so of these 12 offers, which one would you take?
Alex, of these 12 that we just went through, who do you think I had the strongest reaction to? Fairly recent one.
The Yankees?
Yeah, the Yankees for me. Of the 12 hypotheticals, the best one and the most likely one, I do believe, is the Yankees. I do foresee a play. And this is dependent on them. They've been struggling.
Yeah.
How do they do over the next week? Can they? I don't think they make this move if they're
not in a wild card spot,
not in position to really push for a wild card spot. And a lot can happen in a week. You go on a tough losing streak. Next thing you know, there's 5 teams in front of you in the AL wild card spot, and you're 8 out of it. Don't trade. But if you're 2-3 games out of a spot, you can go get Shohei Ohtani. You get Aaron Judge back, hopefully right around the same time.
I mean, this is what Smoltz was saying, right? This was his biggest kind of push trade for the Yankees. Even if it was just a rental, it would be worth it.
Yep. So my favorite of all of these that all of the Fox Sports writers put together is the New York Yankees and the return they would get of Jason Dominguez, Oswald Peraza, Spencer Jones, and Gleyber Torres. Why? Because there is a current established big leaguer on this team, and Gleyber Torres, who can be an everyday, good, middle-of-the-order type bat for you, and Jason Dominguez, who I believe is a future superstar. Switch hitter, a lot of power, tons of speed. I watched him in the Futures game out here in L.A. just 1 year ago. The guy hit a homer, an Oppo homer in that game. He's a star. I've heard this name for a long time. He's still a teenager. I think he's going to be the real deal. And if you're going to make a trade for Shohei Ohtani, it has to be getting a guy like that. Not a couple of top 10 prospects.
No.
A number 1 prospect that you believe is going to be a superstar. And Jason Dominguez, I believe, is the guy that moves the needle for me and is the best of this bunch.
This was fun.
This was fun. Again, we've been saying this. It's Tuesday. There's still a week. So a lot can happen. You were asking me right now. I don't think Shohei goes anywhere.
It also depends how the Angels play this next week.
It does.
I think the mindset may have changed more aggressively once they swept the Yankees for the first time in 14 years in a 3-game series. And then we're playing well against the Pirates. So I think it's really gonna... This week is going to determine whether he's going to stay on the Angels or already trades him.
I agree. And I think I think it would have to be so bad. I think the only world in which Shohei is traded is if they lose pretty much every game for this week. Both series get swept or lose 5 of 6 or whatever it is. That's how gung-ho I think Artie Moreno is about not trading him.
I'm like, let me pull up. They're at Detroit.
Whoa. Pump the brakes over there on the Tigers. They're making a climb in the Central.
So, yeah, I mean, Detroit and Toronto, those are the 2 series before the deadline.
We'll see. It's gonna take it's not out of the realm of possibility. I think most people out there, would say you have to trade him. But the problem is
Tradometer.
My tradometer as we sit right now, from where it was at the All-Star break, it moved back just a little bit. If it's red and green, we're in the like yellow right now.
Okay.
Not the orange, not the red.
So red's getting traded or not getting traded.
Red's emergency, trade him immediately.
And then
green is keep him.
I would have gone the like green, go, he's gone. Red, keeping, stop. I don't know. Okay. So wherever you go, it's your tradometer.
Wherever you go, I go. We'll do that, perhaps. All right. That does it. Stay tuned, everyone. We are 1 week out from the trade deadline. There is certainly going to be a lot that happens, whether Shohei is on the move, whether Artie Moreno decides to keep him or trade him. A lot will be happening regardless, and you'll hear all about it right here. But that does it for this Tuesday bonus edition of Flippin' Bats this week and Shohei Ohtani news. A little bit different this week, but I hope you all enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe anywhere you listen to your podcast, Apple or Spotify, wherever. We're also on all social media at Flippin' Bats Pod everywhere. Thank you all for listening. Until next time, my friends,